Hi, my name is Robert Lusk, and this is my presentation for the Cottonwood Mall site. So the vision for my project is to create a sustainable place to live, work, and relax. So there's kind of a couple of main areas. We've got retail, residential, and green space. So with the retail, we want to focus on first-class shopping with innovative stores in a sustainable environment. And with the residential, we want to build for the future with high-end finishes that will last well into the future, while keeping flexibility in mind with design for anything that the future holds. And green space is really important to stay connected to nature with a very walkable environment. So with the site analysis, this is an image of the site. We're located in Holiday, Utah, which has an average income well above the average in Utah. We're near the mountains with Big Cottonwood Creek running down through the site. The entire site slopes to the northwest corner, and you have great views of both the mountains and the valley. So if you look to the east, you can see the mountains. If you look to the west, you can kind of see the valley, especially if you get on, second story or third story, you would see that valley really well. We're not very walkable. We don't have a lot of accessibility close to us. Not very great biking, no good bike lanes. There's a couple of parks down the street with the community center, but we are not well connected in terms of public transportation or walkability in the site. So the zoning I've come up with is as follows. So we've got the different colors to kind of break it up. The red shows our retail spaces, and this top corner would be our mixed use retail space. This purple shows the parking, which would be a multi-leveled parking garage. So, and then with this teal, we've got our medium dense residential, which would be in the form of live work townhomes. And then down below, we have our single family homes showed with yellow. The inspiration images for the mixed use and retail areas are right here. So as you can see, the first level on all of these images is kind of that one and a half story, really good visibility and transparency in with the glass. And then above you would have either residential or some office space. And I would think that office would work better on this site, given that we're not very well connected with transportation. And inspiration images for our residential areas are right here. So as you can see, these are those live work townhomes, and the main level, you do get some storefront looking in. It's not as big as the retail areas, but they are smaller shops, and they're kind of mom and pop shops that you can, run your business from your home. And then up above, you have your living space with your kitchen, your living room, and then your bedrooms and whatnot. And then behind these is where you actually have your garage, which, you would need if you lived in Holiday, because they don't have great transportation. So in the back, where you can park your car off the street and away from your, people coming into your shops. This lower image shows the residential area, the single family. They're smaller homes, but they're high end, so they're going to be made with nicer materials and have higher, nicer finishes. So those are probably going to start in the 550s, where the townhomes are going to start in the 450s. Transportation network, we've got our dark red here, which is our Main Street retail. And if you look over here, we can see that cross section where we've got street parking and then some street trees to break up that section. And then this red right here shows our Main Street residential, which has some street parking as well. It's parallel, and some street trees along the side, kind of as a buffer from the sidewalk. And then you have your front yard, so another little setback right here before you have your houses. This blue shows the pedestrian parkway, which is through our retail zone, and then the green around the outside shows our bike and pedestrian path. Parking is shown here in blue. We have our main parking garage, and then over here we have parking underneath of our mixed use. So underneath of those apartments or office is where you would have parking for those tenants, and then as well as you would have street parking on that Main Street retail space. Landscape in our retail zones, we would have street lined trees in planter boxes as kind of a buffer for safety, as well as, aesthetics. It kind of makes the sidewalk a little more walkable. In the residential zones, the streets are not as busy. We still want to push the sidewalk off the street edge and buffer it with some grass and some street trees. Less intense, but still very well landscaped. And then our green loop, we want to buffer some of that sound coming in from those streets from Highland and Murray Holiday We also want to use it as a riparian zone, which falls into our low impact design. That kind of helps keep the pollutants out of the stream, out of Big Cottonwood Creek. Rain gardens are also something we want to use. We want to strategically place those around to kind of absorb some of that rainwater on our hardscapes. And then the bioretention would happen down in our northwest corner, which is kind of the main front of the property. You have Murray Holiday Boulevard and Highland where they meet, so we want to dress that up as well as keep our entire site sustainable and keep that runoff from going into our water systems. And in conclusion, I think with all of these steps, I think we can create an environment that will last well into the future and add value to this community.